Hi, all. We're back again, and as you can see, I chose tonight a title, Am I Ready to Be Honest with Myself? We have been moving here for quite a while, and the fact that we're here is indicative of the fact that all of us have the same goal. It's important to understand that clarity in goal is extremely important. And you pardon me. All of us made a decision, and you'll pardon me, the computer keeps playing games with me. And hopefully the computer will will stay on. It's not my thing, so that's where we go. Now, let's focus. And I'll try to focus if the computer will cooperate. All of us made a commitment when we decided to lose weight. And that commitment is very simple. When I started the program, I committed to change. If I don't change, I apologize for that. If I don't change, then how can I expect to lose weight? The two are totally of one piece. Now, I apologize for this. For some reason or other, the connection today keeps popping out, and I will soon be gone. Now, what does change mean? Change means that I'm going to accept the fact that there's going to be some discomfort. None of us like change. We may like things different, but we don't like change. And the fact that we make this commitment has to do with our topic for today, which is very simply, am I ready to be honest with myself? Now, let me start off with a discussion I had with a gal just a few days ago. She called me on the phone and said that in the first 2 weeks on the program, she had lost 15 pounds. And now, in this third week, she had only lost a pound, and she wanted to know what was the problem. Why did the weight loss drop off so dramatically? Psychologist in me did. And I said to her, and she said to me, well, I asked you the question. And you're not answering the question. Hopefully that will hold now. And I said, yes, you did. But if I were the psychologist at this moment, the question would be not what you answered, but what the question actually is. Because one of the things I've tried to share with all of you is that no psychologist really has the answer, because no one can live inside you except you. So all the answers are there. My job as the psychologist is to get you to screen and see what's going on that you're hiding from your own answer. And unless, and I apologize for this, unless I can get this connection settled in, but for some reason or other, it's fighting me today. What I'm going to have to do, but obviously not tonight, is to take this computer in and get the connection repaired. Now, we talked, and she said to me, I don't know. And I said, how could you not know? You have the answer. And then she said to me, do you think it's the fact that I have been eating less in the last few days? And I said, well, what do you think? Now, she knew the answer, because when I pressed her, she said, I shouldn't really have to eat at all. I'm eating from 12 to 6. I'm eating the food that I'm supposed to be eating. And so everything should be fine. I said, but it's not. If it were, you wouldn't be pressing me. So what do you think it is? And she said to me, do you think it's the fact that I a little bit here, a little bit there, but not enough to affect the program? I said, really? Not enough to affect the program? Well, if it's not enough to affect the program, then since you're not changing anything, everything should be fine. Isn't that right? Yes. I said, well, tell me, if this is not a calorie program, as you've heard me say, just incredible number of times, what do you think the issue is? And I pardon me for struggling here. Gee, that's going to hold. But let's take a check and see. What happens when we're on the program since it's not a calorie program? Where are we getting our energy from? And she said, well, you said all along it's a matter of chemistry. I said, okay. Well, let's take my old definition. H2O is water. H2O2 is hydrogen peroxide. They're, as far as ingredients are concerned, are basically the same. So what do you think it is? And she said, well, obviously there's more oxygen than in plain water. I said, great. So what's the problem? And she said, well, you change the basic chemistry by adding an additional molecule of oxygen. And you tell me that you add a tiny little bit of this, and you've added a tiny little bit of that, and a tiny little bit of this. And none of it is supposed to make a difference. But it's so minute. Okay, it is so minute. Then what's the problem? What else has changed except the things that you've shared with me? And then she said, my attitude. I said, your attitude has changed? She said, yes. I've lost the 15 pounds in my first 2 weeks on the program. I'm really excited. I'm really feeling good about it. But now, I've gotten a little confident with myself, and I guess it's causing a problem. I said, I guess it has. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. One of the things that I have been discovering, because I have been calling at least all of those people who work with me when they get their Now you know I'm technologically challenged. I turned off the phone. The key here is to understand the truth, our truth, your truth. I have been calling every single person who has had their beads put on after the bead placement took place. And what's very interesting is the number of people who have come out when we're talking together and tell me about their behavior. And that's really very interesting. So, question number one. Why are you really here? Now, I'm going to answer that question. And if your answer is anything other than the answer I'm going to give you, I want to re-evaluate what's going on. All of you are here because you made a commitment to lose weight. Simple as that. I want to lose weight. Now, is that your commitment? If the answer is yes, then you also committed to change. Because you couldn't lose weight if you did not agree. And I'm going to hold this here. If you did not agree to lose weight by changing your behavior, then you didn't change. So number one, and let's get away from this justification business as well. You committed to change. I can't see you, so I can't tell, but raise your hand if you didn't make changes. No. Number two, how many of you are not happy with the fact that you had to change? You're not comfortable with it. Somebody made you do it? Please don't be upset with me. The computer is just having a fight with me. Now, no one forced you to do the program. You made the choice. And you don't have to justify it. Simply because you are who you are, you have the right to make that decision. And now that you've made the decision, recognize that the things that we have been talking about, self-respect, caring about oneself, and growing up. I want you to hear this very, very clearly. And the first thing first part of what I want you to hear is this. None of you, not one of you, has ever seen an adult truly having fun who was not behaving as though they were a child. Adults have no real ability to have fun. And that's why this name you hear all the time shows up. My child self. We're talking about you, but we're also talking about another aspect of you that you want to make invisible. And here's the problem. If I truly take the child out of your life, all the joy and fun, your life would be as dry as desert sand. So that child is critically important to the fun, to the joy, to the vitality of life. But that child is only a representative of the child that lives inside you. It is not the one in control. You have one responsibility, and I hope you hear me. Your responsibility is to listen to the child. Did you hear what I said? You have to listen to the child. I did not say you have to do what the child wants you to do. And here is part of our problem. Children have very little experience in life. And if you understand a child, you will understand that it works differently. First of all, remember, I have tried to convince you time and time and time again. I just don't want to lose our connection, and that's why I'm trying to hold it together. The child touches something on the stove. The child touches something else on the stove. And now the child touches something that's hot and really hurts. The child learns not to touch hot things. Our child is exactly the same. It wants what it wants when it wants it, and it has every right to want what it wants when it wants it. There's no rule. I want it. Give it to me. It has very little experience in life, so it doesn't really know anything. And here's the interesting thing. When you give a child what it wants, you will notice it's over. It's done with. The child has what it wants. It wants what it wants when it wants it. It gets it. And then it's done. But you're not aware. It's only done until it wants something else. Part of a child's responsibility in life is to grow and to learn and to apply those experiences that it has in life and not be frustrated like I'm becoming frustrated today because the connection keeps loosening up. I can tell because the light under the keyboard goes out. And if that light goes out, I'm going to be disappearing. And it seems it only lasts for a few moments. And then it disappears, frozen. So the child wants what it wants when it wants it. It wants it immediately. It wants it now. It doesn't want to wait. It doesn't want to hear. And it's over and done with immediately until the next time. So what's the story? And the story is very simple. You have to get the child to recognize that you are listening. Now, what does listening mean? One of the reasons I created the magic protocol for you guys was to get through all of this noise. Should I? Shouldn't I? I want it. I need it. I want it. I have it. I will do it. It's a lot of noise. And remember, children were born with a survival mechanism. And that survival mechanism is still in you. That survival mechanism is called anger. A child who's born is helpless. It has no capacity to take care of itself. So how does it get you to take care of it? Anger. All of us have in us that survival mechanism. Now the child wants to be listened to. So let's listen to the child. You want something? I'm going to use the magic protocol. I'll be giving you something. No, it's not what you want, but it's something. And therefore, I'm actually retraining you. But at the same time, I'm listening to you and making you feel important and valuable and teaching you lessons. Now, when I do that, slowly but surely, you're going to change your behavior. And as you change your behavior, we're going to learn to live with food. And that's what this is all about. You said, I want. And now let's differentiate between what you want and what you need. This week, I've spoken to, I can't tell you how many people. And all of them are searching for something very interesting. You know what it is? I want to be respected. I want to feel valued. I want to feel important. But I want what I want when I want it. And I don't really want to make a change. And that's part of the key. I don't want to make a change because change is uncomfortable. Now, let's make an agreement. The agreement is, if you believe what I just said to you, then change is inevitable, and you have to change in order to get what you say you really wanted. So, truth number one, do you really want to lose weight? I didn't ask you why. I asked you simply, do you want to lose weight? If the answer is yes, that's all there has to be. Number two, if you want to lose weight, do you have to change your behavior? And the answer is yes. So number one, agree that you have to accept the fact that you're going to have to change your behavior in order to get what you really want. Now, let's start being honest by differentiating between what I want and what I need. A woman spoke to me this morning about a protein shake. She said she loves these shakes on dairy days. She enjoys them, and she needs them for a change. I pointed out to her that this is a chemical program and that the shake, although it had many of the components that are necessary for us, had things in it. For example, it had very low fat. You cannot, don't we use whole milk? Don't we add fat to the vegan substitutes? You can't lose fat without fat. This product has very little fat. Oh, so you mean I have to add something? Yes. You mean it's not ready? No. How is it sweetened? Oh, it has some monk fruit in it, but it also has sucralose. Have I suggested that you stay away, from any significant sucralose because it's not good for your gut? Yes, but it's only a little bit. Let's start focusing properly. Let's start being honest with ourselves. You're going to like yourself a lot better when you not only succeed, but recognize that the behaviors to which you have changed are giving you what you really want. If it's not what you really want, why are we having this discussion? You're not being honest and truthful with yourself. And that's part of the thing that I have been sharing with you with regard to therapy. You already have all of the answers. We just have to pay attention. And as long as we pay attention, those things that we say we really want are going to show up. When I get up in the morning and I realize that morning, for whatever the reason, I'm happy with myself, that I like the guy that I get up with, it sets me up for the rest of the day. I like listening to myself. I like talking to myself. I like asking myself questions. It invigorates my day. And the reason it does is because it helps bring out what I say I really want. And when I recognize that there is no need for justification, that's terrific. And there is no need for justification. And I'm going to try to hold this here now and see if it works. So, number one, ask yourself what it is you really want. Ask yourself if you can have what you want. Are there certain things that you need to do in order to achieve that goal? If you didn't say yes to the question, did I commit to change when I made the decision to lose weight, then you're being dishonest. Every single one of you made the decision to accept change in your life when you committed to the program. The fact that you didn't need to justify it was something unique for most of you, because most of us grow up in situations and circumstances where we have to give a reason. We can't just want what we want. And that's one of the beauties of being a child. You can want what it is that you want. And if most of those kinds of things are not harmful, growth and change and learning will take place. And when growth and change and learning take place, we get what we want and our lives are joyful. I need you. No, I take it back. I want you, not just to be successful. And the reason I want you to be successful is because you have no idea how good that makes me feel. Because when I'm part of it, it gives me a sense of meaning and value in my life. There's enough insanity out there now. These are the moments that keep me insulated from it. Number two, I recognize that things are going to change. Tell me anything that doesn't change. So to fight and avoid change is something that you can't succeed at. You can't succeed at it. Try doing something again and again and again. You'll get close to it, but how often can you make it exactly the same? Isn't that why we say practice makes perfect? Doesn't practice make perfect say that if you want it to happen in exactly the certain kind of way, you can get closer and closer to it if you actually practice so that it does exactly that. I'm laughing because it's actually there we go. It actually stayed alive for 20 or 30 seconds there. Now, let's move on to some questions. Oh, by the way, start waking up. Memorial Day is coming. Summer is on its way. Taking off your winter clothes and wearing different kinds of things, going to the beach, things of that nature. It's just around the corner. And you, if we're playing basketball, have the ball and you're getting ready to score. If you tell the truth, and it's a real truth, it'll work for you. And if it's the real truth and it works for you, and you're going to be a good deal happier. And that'll be real. Okay to have sugar-free gum anytime or only from 12 to 6. I remember someone saying that I can have 6 pieces a day, but I go through at least a pack a day. I figure it's better to have too much gum than cheat. Am I hurting my weight loss? Now, first and foremost, the answer is too much of anything is a problem. The answer is what's in sugarless gum. First of all, make sure that the gum is not sweetened with sucralose. I've stood up and told you as often as I can that based upon everything that I have read, sucralose is sweet. It messes up your gut. Your gut is your second brain and keeps you healthy. Why mess it up? And therefore, I've limited it to 6 pieces a day. Other than that, I have no issue whatsoever. Everything is chemistry. Everything is chemistry. This is not a calorie diet. And the more we change the chemistry, the more we impact on the results. Question number 2. I'm going away for Memorial Day weekend I want to stick to the program, but don't think I can do milk days while I'm away. Is it okay to do all veggie days? This question comes up often, and I want to add in something that's really important. First of all, understand that whatever you choose is okay if it's okay. Let's also understand that if we don't do the program the way it's prescribed, the results are going to be somewhat different. So, number one, this person wants to celebrate Memorial Day weekend and is not going to do veggie day and milk days. So number one, we're going to be depriving this body of protein. And remember, milk days are our major source of protein. But the person has made a decision. So what am I going to say? I'm going to say, do veggie day, but add a little bit of protein each day and restart again after the weekend is over with dairy days and the regular program. Now, we've also accepted the fact that I may not lose at the same rate as I was when I was scrupulous on the program, and accept it. You can't have everything, but you can have more of what's good and what will be helpful to you if you think it through and if you treat yourself with some high regard. Here's a person who wants Memorial Day weekend and asks me, what should I do to have what I want? Now remember, that's the other thing. I want. You, unless it's a life-threatening situation, it's not want, it's need. I mean, it's not need, it's want. So the answer to the question is speak to your consultant, speak to me. And the more you're speaking to me, the more you're asking questions, the more you're interacting, the more you're involved, the greater your success is going to be on the program. And it's not a secret. The reason is very simple. This program is based upon scientific principles that are being broadened every single time. Yes, Australia, you could do sugar-free Metamucil. I'll have this fixed by next time, people. And please, really forgive me. Next question. My friend told me you're allowed to have hard-boiled egg when they feel hungry. Can I do that as well? Now, first of all, most of the people whom I have recommended hard-boiled egg has been for medical reasons. So understand that for most people, a hard-boiled egg is not part of the scientific aspect of the program. Number two, if you have a choice of doing something really off the program or having a hard-boiled leg, and I'm not talking about on a daily basis. I'd much rather you have a hard-boiled leg than anything else because it's simple, it's easy, and it's not going to be significantly damaging. Now, please hear me. If you do not open up and reveal the truth to yourself, your results are going to be problematic. And I'll give you an example. A woman who'd been on the program X number of years ago just called me up on the phone. And she asked me all kinds of questions on the program. And she asked me also to mail her an acupoint finder. And she went on and talking and asking me more questions. And before she hung up, she said to me, "And remember, Dr. Schwartz, send me the acupoint finder." Now, here is a woman who, for some reason or other, really doesn't want to do the program. She wants to make believe she's doing the program, but she has no idea where to put the beads. And the odds are 12 to 1 that she's going to get it right. Now, who and why and where she's doing it. By the way, she had bought packages a couple of years ago and still had about 7 sets of beads. And so she used to be putting on beads herself. Now, she's going to lose some weight. You don't need me to lose some weight. But she is going to harm her body if she does it for any significant period of time, because her body is going to go into starvation mode and she's going to cannibalize her body. But she has built for herself the illusion that she's doing it properly. Call me, text me, answer my phone when I call you. Let's up our level of complete success, not just the easy part of losing some weight. Thanks, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. There we go.